Yo, what's happening, man? I hope you guys are doing wonderful. I myself am doing wonderful. It's a beautiful autumn day on this October. And it's just time for me to do another video. So let's get into it. Today I want to talk about, I guess for a lack of a better topic, manifestation to a certain degree. And there's a lot of videos on manifesting and the law of attraction. And I've watched a lot of those videos for years and years, decades even. I've been on that wave even before it became popular. I've been reading books and studying and trying to practice conscious manifestation. You know what I'm saying? Because we're manifesting at every moment, whether we think we are or not. So you're either doing it consciously or you're just doing it unconsciously, but you're constantly manifesting. So I want to talk about like all the videos I've seen, all the books I've read. A lot of them leave out a key component when it comes to like manifestation, and we'll get into what that is. So like I remember years and years ago, I used to go to the barbershop, right? It's a long time ago, way before I had all this hair. I would go to the barbershop and I would always take a book with me. Usually I would take a book with me to read, because even if I made an appointment, usually my barber still had somebody in a chair when I got there. So I would read while I was waiting for my turn. And I remember there was another barber in there, and he wasn't my barber, but he was next to my barber. And whenever he wasn't cutting hair, he would sit in his chair and he would read. We built kind of rapport about books we were reading or whatnot. And I remember one day I went in and he was like, "Yo, you should check out this book I just read, man. It's dope." And he was telling me about it, and as he was explaining what it was about, it resonated with me, because I was already, like I said, I was already on that law of attraction type wave, because I had read up until that point, I had read books like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I think there was this book called Think Big by Ben Carson that I read. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. I had read all these books up until that point, so I was aware of like what the law of attraction was, right? And so the book that he was like recommending was called The Secret, and The Secret blew up at around that time, and like it was a big thing. And so I went and picked it up and I read it, right? And I remember I thought it was a decent book. It was good, and I remember practicing some of the ideas that it had inside the book, and it was all about really thinking, from what I remember, like positive thoughts and thinking about what you want and staying on that frequency or whatever, but just thinking. And at the time I didn't realize all of these books that I read, Think and Grow Rich, Think Big, there was a Man Thinketh, they were all talking about a spiritual level, like thinking and dreaming and imagination and all of that, visualizing and all of that. But they like I said, these books tend to leave out or downplay an important component of what manifestation requires. And it's not just the spiritual level of the thinking and visualizing and the imagination. It's the action, taking action. A lot of people who talk about manifestation tend to leave that out or kind of downplay it, don't talk much about it. But you have to take inspired action in order to materialize what you want. And so you have to take action. Like action, faith without works is dead. We all heard that a million times over, man. It's in the Bible. My mother used to say it. Like, you gotta apply yourself. She always used to tell me, apply yourself. Like, you can't just go through the motions. You have to apply yourself, apply what you know. And so, of course, the thinking, the dreaming, the imagination, the visualizing, having the strong positive emotions, having positive thoughts about what you want, all of that is incredible. That's great. But you're not gonna really materialize what you want. Usually, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, because like The Secret was talking about things like thinking about, like for instance, it would say, I remember like one of the, I think it's vaguely too, it's been a long time, but vaguely I remember it like kind of like thinking, was talking about thinking about like you wanted like say if you wanted a parking space, you're going to work and you wanted a close parking space, something close to the building. Think about it, visualize it. And I remember doing that, you know, and it worked, you know, or maybe it was coincidence, but that shit tends to work. You know, you can, those type of things you can kind of manifest, but something tangible, let's say you're making $5,000 and you want to get to 10,000 a month or 15,000 a month. You're not just going to be able to like visualize and think about that. You're going to have to put into some type of action plan and take action to actually have that happen. You're not just going to think about money and it's going to fall into your lap. And that's what a lot of this shit, a lot of these videos that float around on manifestation, they kind of like make it seem like that's all you have to do. And at least in my experience, that's not the case. You have to put in those actionable steps. You have to take the action required, because all of that stuff that you like, the thinking and the dreaming and the visualizing, all of that is on a spiritual level, right? And that's part of the manifestation process, like I said. But you must take action on the physical level. On the physical plane, you have to put in the work. Anything worth having, you got to put in the work to get what you want, right? If you have goals, you got to put in that work. You're not just gonna get better at playing piano just by visualizing and thinking. You might get a little better because you're visualizing how you like your fingering. You know, you might get a little better. Like you think about shooting free throws. You just visualize yourself hitting free throws. There's been a study on that where people who visualize did get better. But you have to put in the action. So just think about it. If you think about it, you visualize it, and then you go out and put in the work. That's what manifestation is about. It's combining the two worlds, the spiritual and the physical. And so, short and sweet, that's all I really wanted to talk about today. Put in the work. Don't run from the work. You can be a dreamer or you could be a doer. I say you must be a dreamer and a doer. You got to do both. You got to combine the spiritual with the physical, and that equals manifestation. So don't leave out one of the most key components, which is the action. Take action. Take the actionable steps. Come up with a plan for what you want and put in the work. Visualizing, meditating, imagination, dreaming, all of that is great. All of that is good, but combine it with work and you will see your manifestations come into fruition a lot sooner, you know, than if you just sit on your ass and do nothing but visualize, hope, and wish. Faith without works is dead once again, man. So with that said, that concludes my video. Thank y'all for tuning in. Until next time, love y'all. Peace.